Good afternoon and welcome to TalkSport. It is our weekend program, or Saturday sports special to be exact. A warm welcome to you wherever you are. Yes, it's also Emancipation Day. So, my outfit, Rudieon, don't be jealous, but that's my outfit for today in honor of Emancipation Day. It's actually a holiday in the Caribbean, in particular Grenada, it's a holiday as well. But it's a Saturday, so every Saturday is a holiday in Grenada. Yes, and yes, so welcome and yes, welcome, folks. And I put my screen very early indeed because Rudieon, my co-host, is joining me from Toronto, and as we indicated, it is our final program for the summer recess. And we have some royalty in the house with us. Today we have the president of the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association. That's Natalie Regis. She is the president, the new president, I should say. And we have a young swimmer in that of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, I got the name correct, right? So we'll be talking a little swimming too, because we have always been talking about swimming, Rudieon, but we never really had someone on. We have been pushing the idea of swimming. In fact, for 2 years, swimming has been our association of the year in terms of what they have been doing, etc., etc. But we have never had to have someone really to push the whole issue and what they have been doing. So there is the Goodwill Championships. We used to call it the Goodwill Games, but the Goodwill Championships coming up in Trinidad and Tobago later this month, in probably 2 weeks' time. And interestingly enough, they have a contingent of swimmers at the CAC, Central American and Caribbean Games in the Dominican Republic, and also the Commonwealth Games, right? And as I've been talking to the president, it's interesting because, Rudieon, swimming is one of the association or sporting discipline with the least amount of facility, and in terms of when we talk about quality facility, but doing so much in terms of domination in swimming in the OECS. And I still believe that if they get the opportunity and the facilities, they can go further in terms of, but they even medaled in at the Carifta as well, right? We have SECAN, which is Central American and Caribbean Swimming Championships, and we have seen them making the effort at World Championships and the Commonwealth Games, and best times. Yes, coming up against the Australians and others is a hard feat because the Australians are basically professional swimmers, and they have the sort of facility. So we'll be talking about that and what they have been doing in terms of swimming. But welcome, Rudieon.
Yes, certainly. It's a pleasure to be on again with you, Michael. President, it's good to have you on. Madam President, I may say, it's good to have you on.
Please.
And of course, our young swimmer, it's good to have you on, young man. Certainly, Michael, as we're going to get a lot of answers today in terms of what it is that they are doing in the swimming that making Grenada so proud without a swimming pool per se, so definitely some answers will come, and we constantly, Michael, we always talk about swimming on here because we say, like we said, it's one of the disciplines that have made Grenada so proud without proper facilities. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And when we finish with the swimmers, because it's our last program, so we also wanted to be talking a little about the Commonwealth Games and the CAC Games and all these other things we'll be talking about. But once again, welcome, President and swimmer. Welcome. Right. Natalie, first off, as you indicated, work has just started for you. And by the way, folks, I've known Natalie in swimming for many, many years. She started as a swimmer herself, and she has moved through the ranks, swimmer, swimming coach, and now she's an administrator. So congratulations once again, Natalie. But tell us, as the newly elected president of the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association, what among your main agenda items? What are you hoping to achieve in terms of priority for swimming in Grenada?
Right. Thank you. Thank you for having me and Caleb as well. For us, really, the priority number one is ensuring that our swimmers, we give them the adequate care and respect that they so willingly and by even their demonstration deserve. The amount of effort they put in, and I can attest as a competitive swimmer myself, we have to value and respect the effort that they put in that pool and the sacrifices they make, not just themselves, even their parents as well. Because they get up, they're up there very early, 5:30 in the morning, and back again in the afternoon, and this is happening on a regular basis, ongoing, almost what we haven't stopped training for the entire year. So it's a case, a testament to their commitment. So from GASA's point of view, we definitely, for us, it's definitely swimmer centered. We need our coaches. We want to support, ensure that our coaches are on board. So we also have quite a few training programs on for our coaches because we know our swimmers, the pool is going to grow. We want it to grow, as well as we want to ensure that our coaches are adequately certified. So which is why we have another 10 coaches who will be completing the next FINA certification program, and we are going to recruit another 12 to try and complete their training so that they can assist with the entire stages of persons moving from learn to swim to be more in the developmental stage. So going through the ranks of the LTAD program that we want to implement until, of course, up to our highest level, which is where we try and get our medalists um, at the Olympic level. So our goal is definitely to encourage our swimmers and let them know that the opportunities are there and ensure that we give them that support. Of course, our officials, we can't do it without the officials as well. So definitely that's the path, and it's all swimmer centered for us, and that's our main item on the agenda at the moment.
Yeah, and it's interesting as well because living in the islands, especially in the Caribbean, it's sort of almost automatic. Because for some people, they believe it's mandatory that you should be able to swim. Yeah,
I think so too,
yeah,
100%.
and because you're basically surrounded by water. A beach is probably, let's look at Grenada for instance. A beach is within probably just a few miles wherever you are in Grenada, right? Unlike other countries where you'll have to travel miles or even fly to get to a beach, right? Except in some cases, probably man-made lakes and things like that. So swimming, they view swimming in particular as almost, apart from a sport, as a recreation in the islands. How important do you think for GASA to get people in Grenada to be involved in swimming and swimming at a very early age?
Well, it's one of our key item on the agenda because we have the schools program through the ministry, which we continue to support, and that's where we try, as part of the school's PE program, we try and encourage as many schools as possible to take it on as part of their curriculum as well. I think that's something that I really would love to see made mandatory because swimming is a life skill, and I keep repeating, and I would say it again because you can go to school for 20 years and it only takes 2 minutes for you to fall off a boat somewhere, and that's it. All that years of education and all you went through disappear in 2 minutes because you don't know how to do a skill that can be learned, and that's something that's preventable. So for us, getting it as part of the school curriculum as a compulsory aspect, element, subject, whatever you want to call it, letting everyone get that opportunity to learn to swim. And if it is that we set it at a certain, maybe we go through the entire, try and cover, which we have been doing through the Get Grenada Swimming program, one of which I'm very heavily involved as well in trying to get instructors trained up for these different sites that we have. Um, it's key, and we offer it for free. You don't have to pay anything. It's free. You just come. It's a lot of work to get instructors trained up and get the sites operating, which is run by Deb Eastwood. To get everybody, give everyone that opportunity, and it is very, very high on our agenda, which is why we continue to put so much time and effort into getting more instructors and even trying to open up new sites. We just reopened Birch Grove, which is Lovell is up there, and really just to get just so that persons have easier access to learn to swim for free. And it's how can I say, it's so high on the priority that we don't even want to charge. We don't charge and have not been charging. The only contribution we ask for, especially with the schools program, if they're using the pool, is just to make a contribution, which is next to nothing when you look at it. But if they're using the beaches, then of course we don't want anyone to have to feel as though there's any hindrance as to why they cannot learn to swim. And that is why we really keep pushing, and we're going to continue to do so. And we do have a few other programs under our belts that we want to push, where persons can learn how to swim. And that's going to be launched pretty soon again, so that we're really trying to capture the entire population of Grenada so that everyone can learn to swim without any excuse whatsoever.
Thanks. Good afternoon to Edwin Sam in New Jersey, and Gordon, good afternoon to you as well. And he says, Emancipation Day to all sporting fans. And Edwin says, the shirt. Yes, Edwin. Yeah. And we'll get to that after we finish our swimming segment. We'll have a lot to talk about outside of swimming. But Caleb, once again, welcome. I know our good friend Lincoln Toro Deputy will be interested in hearing what you have to say. But welcome once again, Caleb. Which school actually you represent?
Good afternoon. I go to Presentation Brothers College. That's
okay.
I've been.
Yeah. Rudieon, you understand why I said Toro would like to hear that? Yeah. And tell us about your involvement in swimming. I mean, why not basketball or track and field or some other sport, but swimming?
I've been swimming for about 4 years now. I started swimming when I joined secondary school, when I joined PVC. And over the years, I've done many sports. I've tried football. I did track for a while. I tried tennis for a while. And then I tried swimming, and I fell in love with the sport. For me personally, it's very hard for me to settle down to do one specific thing. So when I realized, okay, this is something I continuously gravitating towards, I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I fell in love with the sport, and it keeps me fit, keeps me exercised. And I enjoy it very much. It's also a way I connect with people, and I get to travel and see the world. So yeah, that's why I do the sport.
Yeah, that's good. Rudieon, I mean, don't pepper him, but at least...
No. I actually was going to have a question for the president, Madam President, and I'm going to get back to Caleb in a second. So I'm hearing you talk about the importance of swimming, and I always, I always see it as a challenge, especially in the time that we're living in now. I guess because I'm in Canada, we don't have the ocean. Most people don't really use the lake as swimming per se, so we have a lot of swimming pools and Olympic-sized swimming pools. Several of those in the area. But being a Grenadian and being from St. Patrick's, it is sort of challenging to get athletes, swimmers from that region to say that to be a part of the swimming team, because one, the distance to get to where the closest swimming pool is a challenge. How is that? How do you manage that? I do understand the swimming part of it, teaching the kids how to swim, even in the ocean or the river, wherever it is. But it's an important part for you, and it's an education part as well. Because even being a swimmer, you can save someone's life. But how it is challenging to be on the Grenada national team, being from that part of the region, and trying to be a part of the team. There is no swimming pools anywhere close by.
Right, valid, very valid indeed. However, it's good to start at least somewhere, and which is why I've made it my duty for the past 3 years to consistently be up in Sortiers. Is it 3 years? Just about 3 years since the Breakwater project got
Yes.
developed, and I kept monitoring it because I was so happy when I saw they actually. And I asked permission, is it accessible to everybody? Is it a private area? And no, it's not. So it's open. So the ministry program is there. We do every Tuesday. We are up there teaching the kids how to swim. And we did host last year our Independence open water swim up in Sortiers, just to move events because, it can get St. George's heavy with too many events. So that was the idea behind it, to try and get some events up to Sortiers, so that the children up there can see what the opportunities that they have and entice them into, trying to be more than just a learn to swimmer and be a more competitive swimmer. It's completely different. And Caleb can attest to it. The level of work that is required to move from a learn to swimmer to a competitive swimmer is serious dedication. And that's why we wanted to move quite a few more events and host a few more events in the future. Even the not just swimming, but also triathlon potentially, and even water polo, because the area is just so ideal. It's very, very calm. But I would say to transition from a regular, we can develop the open water swimming as well, because that's another area, well, you would call it a discipline in the aquatic world. It's to get more open water swimmers, and I know that was something we discussed as well, to try and get more Grenadians to do more open water swimming and try to develop that. But of course, the manpower. So, which is why we're once again back to the number of coaches that we have, and who can decide where we can decide to specialize a few coaches to assist in these areas. But it would be great if we could. I know we're building a facility now, that aquatic center. We'll speak more about it in the Queen's Park area. It would be ideal from my point of view to have one in St. Andrews and another between St. Mark's and St. Patrick's. Because I know we have playing fields in every parish, and sometimes not just one, more than one in a particular parish. So why can't we have a swimming pool in every parish if possible? Just to, get.
And while you're on that, I recall many years ago, Natalie, and you were involved in that, when we used to have the open water, for example, and the folks from Guave in particular used to come down to the Grandlands Beach. They used to have the open, it used to be part of, I don't know what it used to be, but
the Cross Harbor Swim. Yes.
Cross Harbor Swim, right.
That Cross Harbor Swim is a historical event. Yeah, we need to bring that back. That has to be revived.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I also remember in elementary school, I did go into a swimming on Grandlands Beach when I was at St. Patrick Charity School. I'm talking about many years ago. I certainly remember doing that, which is the open water again. So certainly that is a good thing. And then we have to start utilizing what we have. And even yes, we may not have the pools, but we have the oceans, we have the rivers. Like we have certain things that we make a lot of excuses that we don't have this and we don't have that, but we have to utilize what we have.
But I think that is true, Rudy. And once you do that, and the folks start swimming, then it might be an easy transition for the pool, because you have to get them to want to swim, right?
Yeah.
And they enjoy swimming, and and then you can get if you can get lots of people into swimming, then it will be easy to make that transition at some point in time, I'm hoping, right?
Yeah.
Because they already like swimming. It's like playing basketball on the street basketball, and then you get the facility now, and you move them into the arena, So it's like you get the facility. So the idea is to get people to swim. And the hope is that at some point you will not probably get all to swim competitively, but they will have that knack to swim, and it might be easy transition for them into the pool, right?
Most definitely, and it's tough.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Tony Julian, my good friend in the media. Tony Julian says, well, finally, absolutely nothing like swimming for overall physical fitness, especially in Grenada, with such a Christ-blessed abundance of the world's most beautiful beaches. Who needs a pool here of all places? Yeah. So the idea is for Tony and others, the idea is swimming, getting people to swim. And then the association can look towards pulling people from that cadre of swimmers. They are all swimming. Have programs where you can get them into the pool at some stage, whether they come from St. Andrew, whether they come from, of Sotels or Wharf. Is like our good friend Richie Hughes when he started the outreach program in tennis, right? Going in pools and other areas to get the folks to play tennis, even from the grass, and things like that. And the hard court. There wasn't a lawn tennis court, but they were using the hard court. Out of that, they got a number of tennis players who became top tennis players for Grenada. Likewise, we're hoping that could be part of the
and Michael, also when you Madam President, you'll see that too. We're not talking about the whole of the Caribbean, but just in Grenada, to find out how many just adults who cannot swim. And then you try to say, but what? You live in the Caribbean, how could you not swim? Some people live close to the water and they cannot swim. So it's very important, even now, seeing a lot of kids who cannot swim. And I think that is something, just starting at the elementary school level and then taking it up to another level. I think it's really good. I knew of it. I didn't know how much of the level of it was in the school, but I heard that they was starting to do it in the schools. But certainly seeing that you coming on board and you're going to be pushing it a lot more than it is now, to see to it maybe every child in the school can swim. That would be something good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Right. Caleb is still with us. Caleb, so let's talk about your swimming ambitions. What area or what events are you into, and how training has been going?
So for now, I specialize in breaststroke. My favorite race personally is 100 breast. I have qualified for character, I think 2 years ago, for 200 breast and 100 breast. I took part in Trinidad a couple years ago. I just want to say thank you to my coaches, all of them, all the coaches who have coached me over the years. I think they are the ones, along with my father and my mom, who pushed me in swimming and helped me advance as far as I can go. Training has been going well, I would say, with Coach Natalie for the Goodwill games coming up in 2 weeks. I would say training has been well. I train every day, Monday to Saturday. I gym 3 times a week, early in the morning, 5 o'clock. And then I run in and between, to keep my cardio up and stuff. Yeah.
Certainly good.
Wait. Man, so you see what I'm saying, Rudieon? He's a swimmer, but he has a program in terms of gym, and again, and people do not understand, as we, like we were speaking about a few weeks ago when we were with Red Walters, for example, the cyclists, right? They just believe you just jump on a cycle and cycle. So too, they believe if you can swim, you just jump in the swimming pool and swim. But as a swimmer, and as a young swimmer, he has a program, basically, right? That he has to do his gym work. He has to, and it's all about cardio, because of course, if you're competitive, he has to do a lot with your breathing and all these other things. We're watching the swimming there, and you have to understand that it takes a lot to do what they're doing and what they're accomplishing as well. So hats off to you.
And Michael, there is a discipline to it. And I wish a lot of athletes could actually could take something from this, from Caleb today. just the discipline part of it, because I know it's challenging to wake up that early. Now you have to go to bed early. There's things you have to give up, so that you have to make the sacrifice if you want certain things. That's what I said to my athletes too. I mean, Michael, I went as far as the Olympic Games. You're not getting me to wake up now 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not, So I mean, the discipline that suddenly that he has is a totally a lot better discipline than I had. But you have to make the sacrifice, and that's really what it is. Because you have to, when you do that, you still got to get to school, and you still got to do good in school. It's not just, swimming, you have to have a good education as well. So it's a lot on you as a youngster. So certainly your future is bright if you keep that mindset and you have the discipline. We certainly will be seeing you in the Olympics on the podium for Grenada in the near future.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
That's good to know. And so, what events would you be participating in at the Goodwill Games in Trinidad? What can we look at? It's still the backstroke?
I'm doing all the events, I think. All the events in Goodwill. We taking part in all the strokes, so fly, back, breaststroke, IMs, relays. We're going above and beyond. We're just trying to see where we are and going to do our best.
Right, yeah, and Natalie, that's something I want to speak about, because swimming is a sport as well, where unlike, let's say, you're competing in the 100 meters, you go and you compete in the 100 meters heats. If you qualify for the semis, the 100 semis. If you qualify for the final, the 100 meters final. That's it. Now, a swimmer will go, and as Caleb is saying there, let's say, for example, you have freestyle, you have breaststroke, you have backstroke, you have all, and then you have the 50 meter, the 100, you have 200, you have IM, you have an athlete, a swimmer, sorry, that may in one championship participate in probably 8-9 events. This is quite demanding. Talk to us about that, Natalie.
Correct. Yes. So that's what is required when you're at the developmental level, because we don't believe at a very early age to specialize any individual child. We want to give them every opportunity to compete and really develop. And until they have had the opportunity to compete in those events multiple times, and as they get older, let's suppose once they start hitting 17, 18, of course, then they will start saying, okay, this is my event. This is what I want to focus on. But sometimes you would find, because of swimming is, the thing is not as demanding on your body in terms of high impact like the other sports can be. Like track and field is very high. The impact is huge. Swimming, you're suspended in the water. So it's a lot of more muscular rather than heavy impact on your joints and on your body.
But Natalie, you can go down underwater and you might not come back up. Eh? So if you don't know how to swim.
We train those things, and that's part of the training, because we consider the underwater butterfly kick as the fifth stroke. I mean, you have the full competitive stroke, but we work that underwater kick, and Caleb could attest to that. It has been one of our number one priority, getting everyone ready for the Goodwill Games. So the workload has been piling on, but really helping them to be able to build that lung capacity. So when they go out there to compete, they're going to be, well, we want them to be at their best and would have surpassed, because a lot of them have already started, showing significant improvement, which is what we want them to do, continue to push themselves to the limit. But the idea is with the swimming, and that too has to do with how the competition is structured. The structure of the competition is such that OECS and Goodwill are competitions where they are developmental meets, and that's why you have age groups from as young as 8 years and under. And for Goodwill, it goes up to 17. OECS has the 18 and over category, but it gives them that opportunity to then decide, okay, in the next few years, these are the races that I want to specialize in, because I've had the experience across the board and I'm capable of all of it. However, then they start to specialize and decide, okay, this is what I want. But basically, it's just to give them that opportunity, and it's not something that we will demand. Once they hit, they decide, okay, World Championships, Olympics. This is just like we've had for the Commonwealth Games, and so they're not doing everything. They're just deciding on a few, and that's what they went in and deliver. And still, we're going to ask them to minimize that number even more, to specialize even more. But for now, they're still at probably 3-4 races, and hopefully we'll get them to swimmers per se. But I mean, you look at Phelps and you look at the other guys as you get really great. I mean, how do you go there and win 8 gold medals in one competition? That level of work at Olympics.
Unless your last name is not Phelps.
Yes.
But certainly, Madam President, you talk about Phelps and talk about the Olympics. I mean, for the past few Olympics, we do have swimmers. As the president, what is your goal for 2028 to get more swimmers to the Olympic Games for Grenada?
Well, first of all, at the moment, we're still at the wild card. We've only had one swimmer ever qualifying, but that's for the Youth Olympics. So that was Delron Felix in 2016. To date, we have not had anyone qualifying with the A or the B time as yet. So for us, having a swimmer qualify for the Olympics would be one of our main, target, and that's what we've mentioned to our swimmers who would have had the wild card already. You have to now take it to the next level. So you can't be at that C, which is what's called the C standard, where you are allowed to go based on quota. We want swimmers to know they are capable, and as a result, which is why we have released it, but not unofficially, in the terms of ranking the swimmers, so that they know exactly how many FINA points they have. And as a result, we have a top 4 female and top 4 male. And so that they know, and we've already emailed, I would say we've written the letters to them. We've told them this is where you're ranking. These are the races that you have. And the thing with the FINA points and for Olympics is because it's all long course pool, which is 50-meter pool. There's no conversion is allowed. So they have to have that opportunity to swim in a 50-meter pool in order for the times to be valid when it comes to working out the FINA points ranking. It's still called FINA points, but it actually should be World Aquatics points ranking. So we've already communicated with them. We want them to know, okay, you're in the top 4. We want all 4 of you, in the male and the female, to try and qualify, and that's what we're pushing for. So it's not about the wild card position anymore. It's go in there and qualify. And that's the thing. At the Olympics, you're allowed over 20 swimmers. So why can't all 20 of our swimmers qualify and go there? Why do we still have to wait and depend on the one male and one female? I mean, let's go there and qualify. We're going to get this new aquatic center, and we're going to continue with the grassroots. We're going to continue with the long-term, developing from the learners to the more competitive. Something I would love to hear from Caleb, from his point of view. What did it take for him to transition from learning to swim to then becoming a competitive swimmer? And I think for persons to understand that, that change in mindset or even in workload, whatever it was that helped him, to change from learning to swim to being a competitive swimmer. I think that would be very interesting to hear. What do you think?
So when I just started, as I said, I only started 4 years ago when I started to learn to swim. For me personally, when I just started, I was already in 11 to 12, going in 13 to 14 the previous year, and I knew I was behind everyone, and I had a lot to catch up on. So my mentality was, it was never about getting at the start. It was never about getting medals or um winning my race or those kinds of things. It was more of a trying to catch up and trying to get as fast as I can, break down my times, improve as much as I can in order to reach where everyone else is, and then eventually be one of the top swimmers. So it was a lot of hard work. I also want to thank my parents because without them, God knows this would not have been possible. All the long conversations, the hard conversations, sometimes as young men, we head very hard. We have to do things our own way. I have to admit that. Um, so I want to thank my father and my mom for putting up with me in the beginning. Um, it does take a lot of discipline, I would say. Um, it takes a lot of kindness and compassion because you need to be coachable. A lot of my coaches have been with a, I wouldn't say I've been with a lot, but I know a lot of coaches, and it's very um important for you to listen and take instructions from not only your coaches but other swimmers in your area, or the better swimmers or the older ones or the people who have been there longer than you are. So I would say listening is a very, very, very important thing when it comes to swimming. Um, but yeah, it's been a hard couple 4 years, but you will enjoy it. It's been hard, but you still have to do what you have to do, and especially when you're in school as well, because it's important to keep up with your studies. But yeah, that's all. I had to put a lot of work in. Yep.
And Caleb, what is your long-term goal like? Well, how far do you want to take this swimming? Um, the long-term goal, because I mean, at the same time, it's discipline to get where you want to get. So, how far would you like to take this swimming career that you started?
I mean, Olympics is always a dream. Um, but right now, my aim is to get to college. Um, with the availability of scholarships and such, I want to be able to swim the best of my ability, so I can get to a good university and college to continue my studies and continue my swimming journey, of course. Um, yeah, that's my long-term goal, to reach as far as I can. Shoot for the stars.
Certainly, I like that. Yeah, I love that. Love to hear
Quick
that.
question: how old are you? How old are you, Caleb?
I'm 15. I'm turning 16 in September.
Wow, congrats, man. Yeah,
Thank you.
well spoken. Um, yes, very impressive young man. Edwin Sam says, based on his attitude, I see him going as far as he wants, even though he did not attend the university of GBSS. I know. Sorry about that, Caleb. I should have warned you. I should have warned you, because the one time Toro sees that, Toro will want to say, we need to recruit him. But certainly, this is encouraging, and I think Natalie, you and Gasa should also be proud, because I'm certain you have quite a few of other swimmers like Caleb, and there must be a reason why you were selected. I didn't make the choice, right? And I'm certain. And I also want to thank Valerie for making that connection as well. She's the one in between, the public relations officer. Um, Valerie Andrew, I think is her name. Yeah, yeah. But thanks once again. But and based on what, and there's a reason why I asked you your age, because from the moment time I spoke to you, and the first time I met you probably was when you came on to the program. I just had a few minutes before we actually started the program, and listening to you, I realized right away, you one of those who knows what you're talking about. And I think swimming, Gasa, the swimming fraternity, good hands. And I want to also congratulate your parents, because you spoke highly of your parents and your coaches, and the support that you're getting from them as well. And it's important, and Rudy, and we all know that for young athletes, and when we say athletes, we're talking about everyone involved, whether it's football, basketball, whatever. But young athletes at their age, if they have that sort of support, right, from the home, which is very critical, that can translate into the school, because he's having the support from home already. the school and the association, and of course the community. The community can show as well, give it support. He says, best of luck to Gaza. Certainly we want to thank you, Natalie and Gaza. But let's talk a bit about, you mentioned about the swimming facility, the aquatic. What update can you give us regarding, if you have any? If not, then we just hoping that, we can get, because, ground was already be broken, and we're just hoping that sometime in the future we can get that swimming facility. Is there any update?
Oh yes, a lot has been happening. At the moment, I know the engineer in the ministry, Keishon Mark, as well as Mertha Pools, Gail Purcell, Vida Bruno, Perron Johnson, they have been working very hard behind the scenes, including the engineers and all the subcontractors, just to make it happen. Because just yesterday I went by the site to have a look, and they had already done all the excavating that they need to do. The what's called a technical room has already been, all the steel was laid and the concrete has been cast. They were putting in the stones, the big boulders, and then they were putting in the gravel on top of it to then make sure that the foundation was properly solid. So when they do put the facility, the pool, which is coming prefabricated from Mertha, which is an Italian company, it's coming already it's coming in containers, and all they're literally going to do is to put it together. So the plan is, and I want to believe it's on stream, ready within the deadline that they have set of October this year. So hopefully it all realizes and we have a new facility that we can actually open and get so many programs going, which is why we want to launch a few more programs, because we have to keep that pool utilized to the maximum potential, as well as getting as many persons as possible involved in the sport. So there's a lot installed, and even in our strategic plan, some of the different areas we wanted to focus on to ensure that we really get swimming out there to every Grenadian at some level, and not just swimming, because we have other disciplines that we have to look at. So once that facility is on board, we are going to be doing a massive drive to get a lot more programs up and running. So yeah, it's exciting times.
Yes, good to hear that. One more comment. Karen Batiste is saying, a young man that is intentional, impressive, and has a great attitude. He will be a collegiate athlete in the future. So to have a great support system from his parents and his school. Yes, certainly. That's very important. And, I mean, you have those comments coming from the University of the GDSS students, right? So that to me, that to me is very encouraging. Two former students of the university, very encouraging. So if they can say that, and then Toro will say he's probably having it from the wharf, Yeah, but glad to hear about and if it's one thing I will hope Gaza and under your leadership can do from time to time is sort of give a public update in terms of the progress of the aquatic center. Whether you can probably, you're the president of the association, you can organize a tour, along with probably the ministry and the contractors or whoever, organize a media tour, invite the media or GIS for one of them, and get there and let them give an update. Because it would have been a few months when ground, broken and things like that, ribbon cut, etc., and you can show a progress of here where we are now. Because the little rumblings, especially on social media, about road ground and there's nothing, but a lot. Based on what you're saying, a lot is happening, and sometimes it takes time because and it's stages. Because as you said, they have to do a lot of feasibility work. Then they'll have to do excavating, and a lot of work takes place for these sort of things. And good to hear that we get that update from you. But I'm hoping at some stage in the future you can, put something together where they can have a tour and they can explain the video and thing, what is happening, what is expected in the next few weeks. But good to know. How many, in terms of preparation, Natalie, for the Goodwill Games, the Goodwill Swimming Championships in Trinidad? How many are you carrying on to Trinidad, and how preparations are going?
Right. So originally we wanted to go with the full team of 40 swimmers. However, that
How
number
many?
has quickly dwindled.
For,
We
for,
wanted to go with a full team. Yes, we wanted a full house and get
okay.
everybody training and everything, because we were very ambitious in terms of getting the kids, and that's our main goal, right? Whenever we're traveling, whenever we're doing anything, how can we get our youngsters off the streets and occupied in something constructive? And every time I see a team traveling, I'm saying, excellent. We've got a few youngsters who are not involved in anything, that's not so healthy for them. So that's our main goal. We had offered it to our top 5 for every age group, and which we wanted to encourage. And that was our goal, to get our youngsters training. It's part of our grassroots development and transitioning from, I would say, now they're actually getting from developmental swimming to the very competitive side. As Caleb mentioned, he has already made Carifta qualifying times last year, and we're hoping he's going to qualify again for next year. And that's the stepping stone that we're thinking that our youngsters will need. At this point in time, we're down to 17 swimmers, 4 officials traveling, but our total team member traveling is actually still at 32 in terms of going down to Trinidad and being part of the Goodwill Games. So it's the idea, and just similar to OECS, in OECS we're allowed 34 swimmers, and of course we're going to have a whole lot more in terms of the officials and the managers and so that's needed. And plus some of our parents will be traveling as well. So Goodwill Games and OECS are very similar in a sense, where they are both very much developmental meets. Carifta is very much the elites of the Caribbean, and of course the next level up. So we want to keep the numbers that we have for those 2 competitions. I mean, let's be real. Goodwill was never one of the competition that was seen as originally, well, for the past few years, as a very, what should I say, a meet that Grenada was always participating in. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, we only had 2, and the year prior, I think there was, or is it 3? And the year prior, there was only 2, and then even prior to that, there was only 1 member. But the Goodwill competition it's all about, yes, we want to push for excellence, but it's more in the sense of that camaraderie and that cultural exchange and that interaction of helping swimmers understand the stepping stone that's required to go from, a regular developmental to the Carifta level. And I know many years ago when we went to Goodwill, we went with a pretty strong team, and seeing the transition, and that's where, and when Ore Cherubin, Corey Oliver, a lot of they went to that meet, and then they transitioned from being, and even Delron Felix, those all 3 mentioned were Olympians eventually. They transitioned from that developmental stage into the very competitive. So to give youngsters that opportunity, and even recently, our medalist at Carifta, he went to Goodwill the year prior, and as a result, he's qualified and he medaled. He got that bronze medal at Carifta just this year. So seeing and understanding and appreciating what happens with the grassroots and giving children the opportunity, how much of a massive, I would say, it's almost like a spring in their step. Like it just boosts, and help them to see, okay, this is what's possible. I'm actually capable. The timing of the year is perfect because they're not in school. They can do a lot more of that concentrated training. It's almost like having them in a boot camp almost. so they can be there without much, not much distraction taking place, and just keeping them occupied, and being in that area of a disciplined environment where they have to push themselves if they're going to be excellent. They have to be, that extra discipline has to come from inside. And that's what we speak to them about as well. It's not just, okay, your mom wants it for you, your coach wants it for you, but you have to want it. You have to want to be better and to be able to deliver on every lap so that you can continue to excel. And we continue to encourage them because we are seeing it as a great opportunity for our youngsters to develop that strong character, determination, will to, and know and understand and appreciate that hard work, it can pay off. And as a result, whatever other area they decide to pursue when they get older, they are already set up to succeed because they understand, okay, I've worked hard, this hasn't worked, but I've continued and been consistent and it actually works. So that they can see, how great hard work pays off, how well, setting goals and being consistent and, working towards any specific, goal they have once again, or any specific achievement that they want is it can happen. And just that belief, I think, could really help them excel in who wants to be, the doctors, the dentists, the astronauts, whatever they want to pursue. And hopefully some of them will be coaches as well. We're hoping. It's really, it's excellent to see. And I really want persons to understand and appreciate that's what we are pushing for. That's what we want. We want a better future, and we want youngsters who will soon be the leaders of the the next generation, that they have that level of discipline and values and standards that they would want to hold very high. So it is very, very important to keep. And I think, yes, we talk. I mean, I got so much licks already. Where you go with all these children? Why do you want to keep all these children involved? What's the cost involved? I said, when you think about the costs involved in even the violence sometimes that's taking place and the consequences of that, which do you prefer? I think, and I keep saying, which do you actually prefer? Do you want a whole generation of youngsters who have nothing to do, just finding things and getting themselves in trouble and putting the country at a almost at a standstill if you have these rivalries going on from one community to the next, who's fighting with who's shopping? But instead of that, we get them involved in sports. We channel them where they know they can succeed in certain things and they can work towards it. I think it's a win-win anyhow you look at it. So give me another 50 children. Let me try and find competitions for them, and let's get them focused and, building Grenada and eventually, of course, the world to the next stage. So that drives me. Let's get the kids going and competing. So yeah. So just to say, that's what we push for. As many kids as possible, but in terms of the actual numbers going to the competition, as mentioned, we're down to 17 swimmers, 4 officials, and the grand total that's traveling is 32.
Well, it's always interesting because the swimming always tend to have a contingent of parents. Well, the support team. If it's one thing we say about swimming, and which we have been hoping that other sporting federations will see the worth in having the support. You can't have these youngsters going to swim, for example, and the parents are not supporting them at these early age, And we see it in whether it's North America and Europe, for example, an English cricket team will come to the Caribbean, youngsters, and their parents will travel with them, right? They will travel along. They will ensure that the parents are there to support them. Not that the association paying for them, but they will ensure that they put things in place in terms of getting the necessary information, in terms of hotels, some of the logistics that are involved, so that the parents can make an early decision. Hey, I want to travel with my daughter, I want to travel with my son, I want to be there to provide support, John Otley say, I'm proud of my village front door. I have people making a difference. Certainly.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, he's speaking of that, right? Yeah. Certainly. So, Natalie, Rudieon, anything else for Natalie and Caleb?
Yeah, I mean, Natalie sort of kind of went in it a little bit. I was trying to find out the financial, um, of the swimming association in terms of funding. Because you take a lot of kids. Do the kids have to pay something? Do they is it something that's covered? Because you do 3 or 4 major meets within the Caribbean or even internationally for the year, where you take a number of swimmers in terms of funding wise. Where you may have the answer, you may not have the answer, but certainly that would be important to know.
Yes. I'll let you know full upfront. When we took over, there was next to nothing in the kitty in terms of what was available for I can tell you the actual figure, but it's so low I wouldn't mention it. But there was next to nothing there that we actually have access to. But yet still, you still have to try and make things happen. So what we have done, we have written to quite a few business places, including, of course, the Ministry of Sports, and they gave some support to help cover some of the costs. They didn't give all because they think, well, of course, the Goodwill Games was not originally on the agenda from the previous exec, so it was not budgeted for. And as a result, we had to still do quite a few letters. So we're still, and I think I mentioned to someone, my shame plate broke the minute I took charge of all of this, because I have not stopped begging for these kids since we've started, because not having anything I would say in the kitty, but still having to make sure that pool is maintained and clean, do all that's needed because it is costly trying to maintain that facility and keep the kids and even all else that's needed. We have a few members on staff, our pool cleaners and so on, pool maintenance group, that we have to ensure that we pay these individuals. If not, we're not going to have a clean pool, and it will just take 1 week of not having what's needed. I mean, you look at a bucket of chlorine at the moment, we're almost at $1,000, and we fly through a bucket of chlorine in, I would say, a week and 2 days. Where are we finding that? So it's a lot of begging, it's a lot of asking kindly, it's a lot of events that we put on, it's a lot of support that we keep asking our parents to, can you put forward this amount, and we're going to try our very best to source it and return, whatever we make to you as best we can, which is what's happening for Goodwill. We've asked quite a few of our parents, well, everybody, to, put forward what you can. Let's try and cover all these costs, and we're working towards trying to reimburse them. So I'm on book number 11 now, trying to sell in terms of wrap-up books. So if you guys want any tickets, I'm selling wrap-up books, just so that we can return. I would really love to be able to give back everything to what was invested to these parents who put out so much. And we thank them for being so supportive, but we also thank the ministry for at least coming forward and giving at least 10% of the total cost towards the event. So we're definitely we have our strategic plan, we have our budget set up. We're gonna put those in and ensure Goodwill is in there for next year, and hopefully we'll be able to get the finance without too much of a hiccup. But we know the kitty's not that big in terms of what's available out there. But I strongly believe if we invest in our youths, our nation will benefit. And the cost that's involved in investing in youths in a positive way, other than just allowing youths to be at their own free disposal, getting into mischief, I think that cost can be so much more. It could even be tenfold, but even the quality of life that everyone has to experience thereafter, I think it's worth it. So let's find, is it 10 million that we need? Let's find that 10 million and invest in our young people,
Certainly, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
No doubt on
Rudieon,
that. Yeah.
she reminds me of former president of the Grenada Netball Association, Glennis Roberts.
James Roberts, yes.
Yeah, who is not waiting on just the handouts, but ensuring that I will go out and see what I can do myself so that anyone willing to assist will see that I'm making an effort. And that to me is what is needed in our administration, especially when you do not have, you're not like the other associations that have the big bucks, right? They get, the thousands of dollars, and they can afford to have a full staff, and they have a bus, they have a building, and they can pay coaches, and general secretary, etc., and thing. Swimming is not like that. So I applaud you on the effort you are making to go out and and see what you can do and things like that.
Let's have a final question when you finish, Michael.
Can we purchase raffle tickets outside Grenada? That's a question, Natalie.
Yes, you can, and you can make the payment directly to GASA. So if that's okay with you, Michael, I'll share it with you privately, and then you can put it up if that's okay.
Certainly.
Is that all right?
Be able to do that. Yes, I will do that. And I will get the information to Edwin.
And then we'll just put their names on the tickets, and excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Rudieon?
Yeah, Madam President, so the final question. When I look at swimmers, and I'm talking about on the next level. So we're not talking about the carriage turn down, we're talking about the next level. And I look at the Australians, the Americans, the Brit, the Chinese, they're giants, men and women. They are very tall and they are very strong. Oh, is that an important figure for you as the president to see, to recruit, probably look into tall people, or it doesn't matter, as long as you have the passion and you have the drive?
I think ideally you would want someone with the physique plus the passion and drive. I think that's where we had with Delron, his height and he was really on the right path. Fortunately, he stopped. I still tell him we have some unfinished business there. But if you look at I really hope he comes back. If you look at the height for quite a few of our butterflies and breaststrokers, they're not that tall. Some of them are still 5 something, and they are medaling. So I will tell any swimmer, you don't back down. You have, just the other day I told him, because even when I was in Canada working with the Olympians, Penny, who was a breaststroker, butterfly for Canada, she's not tall at all. And she would just go out there and eat up that training. Every lap for her mattered. She would devour that session, and then she's asking for more because she was hungry. And Penny was much shorter than I was. And I'm looking at you as like, you go, girl. And she went there and she went out there and did it. So that passion, that drive, that inner discipline that we speak about, it has to flow through. And that's how you become the world's best. And you look at Zach now at the Commonwealth Games, first ever semifinals for Grenada. Zach was up against the Australian, and he was right there. He's right there in the mix. And that was also a national record, along with Tilly as well, with her 200 freestyle. So Zach's 100 back and Tilly's 200 free. Those were new national record, and Zach's 100 back got him to the semifinals. So that's,
we're getting there slowly. Slowly but surely we're getting there.
Even from the AC Games, we're making a few, breaking ground as well, because we've made a few semifinals, B and those semifinals. So we're definitely breaking ground, and we have a B and A semifinals. So that's good. When we consider what we're training in. So I'm really happy we're getting a new facility. Yes, our youngsters are paving a path for us, and I can see the light. Let's say that. I can see the light. Yes.
Yeah. That's good. Final words from Caleb, the man of the moment. Looking forward to your rest of the season. You have the Goodwill, and then hopefully OECS championships in early November. Talk about it, your preparation.
Well, I'm going to continue to train hard. Um, after Goodwill, I am going to take a little bit of rest because I have to get caught up with school as I'm going in Pop 5, CXC coming up and such. But after that, straight back into it, continuing to train hard, training every day, gym every other day, working with my coach and all my other coaches to do what I have to do to get where I have to be. Um, it might be a little bit harder next year. As I said, I'm going into CXE, I'm doing 14 subjects. Um, so a lot of SBAs and studying and preparation, but I'm not going to give up and I'm going to keep trying my best and see where I get.
Certainly, certainly.
Thanks. And thank you again, Natalie. Just final word, just to wrap it up there.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having us. And I think the support in the entire diaspora locally has been very good. And we're going to continue to push and let swimming, be available to everyone and anyone who wants to be part of the whole swimming family. So thank you. And we're going to keep pushing forward.
Most welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, my dear.
Thank you.
And Mr. Williams, Caleb Williams. Well, Mr. after today, despite your age, man. You deserve the Mr. Thank you very much. All right, you're welcome. And thank you, Natalie. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, for sure.
Madam President, sorry.
Yeah, okay then.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. All righty, take care.
So that's we had the president of the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association Gaza, and Natalie Regis, and we also had swimmer Caleb Williams, Rudieon, a very intelligent young man, we would say.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and his the future is certainly bright for him. And I mean, I listened to him that you just do want to get out on a collegiate scholarship someday to a school in the US. I would assume, but we always talk about it after high school. Finishing at 17 years old, 16, 17. Then you kind of really do hope that they stay focused and that because collegiate schools most likely look at you at 18, right? 18, 19. So definitely the future is bright for him and he's disciplined, Michael. Very disciplined, well spoken.
Yeah, I think.
And I am extremely proud of this young man. Like I said, it's certainly the future is bright. There's nothing else to say for him. He just keep up the hard work, the discipline, and I think the future is bright for him. Yeah.
Yep. That's what I gathered from that, and I and Natalie and her team. We wish them all the best at Gaza. We have been talking about swimming for a while and what they have been doing, and at times, making the comparison. You understand? Because the comparison was, here is swimming with the sort of facility that we have. And
Look what they're doing.
Yeah, and their domination in the OECS.
The OECS, yes.
Is like you have what we used to say. You have the grass track. And then you're going on to the synthetic and beating up.
Synthetic,
And I believe, Rudy, and you made the point. I believe sooner or later, swimming is one of the sporting discipline that will have a medal at some stage.
In some big games,
Not talking about Carifta because we already have that.
Yeah, we established that already.
Yeah,
the next level. Next level.
Swimming is one that, and if we can continue to encourage them, and possibly with the new facility that's coming and things like that, so we
push some
new,
because a lot of it too, Michael, to get swimmers is we talk about with certain things out of sight, out of mind. So if you don't have something, then it's very challenging to get it done. But once you have the facility, you have the tools, you're hoping that things can be better for them, and they're going to want to do it and push for it. So will see better, and they'll have a 50 yard or 50-meter pool now, so they can train better now. They can get real proper training with the distance of the pool than the one they have right now. So,
Yeah. Rudieon, so we have the Commonwealth Games that is actually in progress.
it's wrapping up today. Yeah.
Not really. No, we have tomorrow. Tomorrow is the final.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we have the final. And I know we want to talk a bit about that and other things, but something that just took place today, a while ago, in fact, while the program was going on, I was kind of monitoring. So we had a 10-kilometer, that's cycling though, right?
Yes.
That scratch. We had a 10K scratch. And Red Walters, well, you know, Red Walters was in the program. He actually was in that. I just want to show folks, I just want you to look at what took place, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about it. But devastated.
It's a great name too. I feel like it's a movie star name, Henry Hobbs. Good to see the Canadian up on his feet, and that's Jonathan Hinzer.
Still 2 riders that are being tended to, just for your information. All the others mass pile up. That was the entire back half of the field, and once they all spread up the track, it really is like dominoes.
Very happy to see Red Walters on his feet now as well. Yep. So there he is from Grenada. Bit uncomfortable clutching that elbow. In clear pain, but walking off, that's a good sign. And you can see Team Scotland helping when an incident happens on the track. Everybody will come in to help.
So holding the left arm, let's hope that everything's okay. Shoulder, collarbone, they are often the problem bones in crashes for cycling.
And Nujo Lau from Malaysia is receiving the best care, and this is the incident. Oh, it was between Canada and Grenada, Hinzer and Walters, but unaffected these top 5 riders.
And look at that, 5 wide around the top. It was Henry Hobbs from England. What a flash home it was for him to get the gold medal.
Well, Matthew Bostock, gee, he was in a position to win. He put himself perfectly in the position, maybe went a little bit too early because the train from England around the outside. Ooh, a little wheelie from Henry Hobbs too. A wheelie is when you lift your front wheel up off the ground.
A wheelie, a wheel stand, a mono is another one.
Yeah.
It's spectacular. Azizul Hasni Awang is the most famous of the wheelie riders in the Kirans and the sprints, but Henry Hobbs channeling his inner sprinter.
We could say he's wheelie good at it.
He is. So Nujo Lau is being escorted off the track. We wish him all the very best. And to all of the staff and teammates of the Malaysians, they always get very concerned when they see one of their friends hit the deck. So we hope all the very best for Nujo Lau.
That was the final gold medal for this evening here in Glasgow.
Well, a race that had everything.
Really did it.
And there's the touch of wheels. Canada, Grenada, and everyone behind them, basically.
William Tidwell had nowhere to go. Gee,
Ollie Bledon was the lucky one that was able to make it through. Look at that, up into the fence from the Isle of Man. Ouch. Ben Swift, welcome back to track cycling, Ben. He went down as well. And look at that acceleration from Hobbs all the way down to the wheelie across the line.
The grimace on the face of Thomas Cornish, just holding on for the silver medal.
As easy as it can be in a very, very fast and furious bike race. Henry Hobbs takes the gold medal for England ahead of Tom Cornish for Australia. And the second of the Englishmen on the podium in bronze, Ethan Vernon. Matt Bostock, great ride from him, very aggressive. Agnoletto was covering a lot of the moves. And then Seguin, Canadian, in 9th place ahead of Irwood and Askey. George Jackson, 12th place for him. 2 riders from Wales, the next to go, and then the did not finishes. Unfortunately, the riders were unable to get to the line because of the crash, but so many in that one crash going down. All the best to all of them. Speedy recovery.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Talk about 9 or 10 of them that couldn't finish. Like,
and the interesting thing is a crash between Canada and Grenada, right?
yeah. those Canadians,
But it shows you see how fast those guys were riding.
Yeah, they were flowing. They were going.
And
just one wheel. I guess it's just one little thing just changed everything.
I've been trying to convince my friend, his name is Sir Mike McQuilkin, that the facility that we need for this self-riding now, you cannot go on the concrete. Could you imagine the concrete? The concrete velodrome?
You cannot.
You cannot.
You cannot. No.
That sort of speed and that?
Type of speed, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, even on that surface, they're still
they're still getting
kind of dangerous. Yeah.
They're
There's
dangerous,
a lot of guys with skin up their skin and things like that. Could you imagine concrete? Yeah.
No.
Cycling now is not like cycling before. So that's So that was so it was unfortunate for Red Waters. I was monitoring that race and because he was in there. But that just when the kick for that last 2 laps, they just happened that that was a crash, and it was just and I mean, you didn't see like a collision or anything like that. You just see
everybody just went down, and then everybody go down, and everybody just pile up because you're right behind them. So there's no way to go, right? There is no way to get out from that.
Because you're so close behind each other, it's only those in that other batch that were able to move around. But all those who were right in that batch, they just went down, Unfortunate, right? And he has to ride in the 40 kilometers. That was the 10 today.
The 10
tomorrow. Hoping that all is well for him and that he will be able to, I'll see if I can make contact with him later on. John is saying, wow, hope Red is okay. Gordon says, hope Red is okay after his pile up a Trini also. Yeah, I saw.
There's a Trini in there too. There's a Trini in there too.
That was a big pile up. But it seems as if himself and the Canadian are the two.
The Canadian are the two that, But it seemed like he was almost on the inside and the Canadian was on the outside, maybe.
Outside, yes.
So I'm taking that the Canadian is the one who caused the problem. Those Canadians, man.
After the program, I'll try to put the entire race. I'll try to post the entire race.
To see.
But I was monitoring that there, and it was, when I saw that there, I was like, damn, So, Rudieon, more congratulations again to
more excitement.
yes, indeed. To
our very own.
By the way, it was, if I can tell you, it was the second time Red actually crashed, right? On yesterday, during the first the trial, he actually had a crash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they restarted the race. He got tangled on on the rail, the fence.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The fence. So what happened? They have two batches. The batches on the inside, someone will hold on to the rider. The batches on the outside, they will have the fence to hold on to, right? You have the fence. So he was on the fence. Let me see if I can get it.
And some really good form in the elimination races in particular.
So here was
Swift as well, we'll see out here as well.
Yeah.
Such an accomplished road cyclist. Tidbull, gold medalist in the team pursuit.
So this is a brand new event at the Commonwealth Games. It might be one of the more curious events. Mark Stewart, local hero from Scotland. One of the more curious events you will ever see. I think it is fantastic. Ethan Vernon from England won a gold medal last night in the team pursuit. Now what happens is the riders will depart, and what you're looking at unusually is not the front of the race, you're looking at the back of the race, because the last rider over the line every second lap will get eliminated. The commissaires will call the number. It'll go up on the screen. They need to be aware of that. The commissaires get very cranky if the athletes don't leave the track when they're told to. And an incident at the start for Red Walters from Grenada, just slipping down. And there he is. He was London born. His mother's from Grenada. He lives in Northamptonshire. Red Walters, just a little slip of the wheel there. So they'll come back to the fence, back to the duck board, and we'll go again.
Get to reload, get to re-explain how this event works.
Get to keep explaining.
It's one of the more fun races to watch. It's one of the more difficult races to ride, but really a good spectator event, this one.
Yeah. A bit unfortunate. We got tangled on the fence and caused a little problem. But you know, what I love about Red's determination, right? His determination, and I think that was in the elimination race yesterday. You know, I find I get a lot of intrigue. You know,
but I like this. Like she was saying, you know, it's very interesting. Last one in the back, you get eliminated. You know, I kind of like it that. You know, yeah, it seems like it's going to be fun.
Yeah. There is what. So before I go on to our star athlete, let me. Oh, Rudieon, here's a message for you. Are you going to Caribana after the program, or are you too old for that?
I haven't been to Caribana in about 15 years.
Okay, so the answer is that you're too old for that.
I don't know. If I'm home, I'll go to a carnival, but out here, no. It's silly, man. It's too much incident happening. Every little gathering you have today, you see there's incidents. Sometimes it's pointless.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, every little thing there's an incident. So it's ridiculous. It's pointless.
So this was Tamara Patterson,
Virgin Islands.
semi-final.
Kyla Liberd is a non-starter here. Here we go then, the first track action of the morning without barriers in the way. The first of 3 heats in the women's 400 metres.
Set.
Not much change in echelon there, although Patterson of Grenada has gone off very fast. Second to left in lane 7. She's blasting down the back straight into the wind now, but she's already passed Uganda's Banyura in the yellow to the left of picture. She's much the taller of the two. Nice steady running from Henrich in 4, in the third from right in the red of Wales, and Nielsen of England in the largely red strip. They're right in the centre of the echelon, but really great running from Tamara Patterson as she comes around the crown of the bend now. Beginning to make a move now, Charlotte Henrich. Nice steady first 300 from her, and as the stagger unwinds, massively in her favour. So now she leads down the home straight. Charlotte Henrich of Wales looking magnificent over the last 50. Coming through strongly is Nielsen. Is she going to catch Patterson? It doesn't matter. It's the times that matter. She does get it past the Grenadian. Lovely run there from Charlotte Henrich. 52.09, that winning time. The wind, of course, compromising things a little bit with it in their faces up the back straight. But from Charlotte Henrich, a very mature, solid run there to take that one. Doesn't look like she's overextended herself. She won pretty comfortably and held her form well down the home straight. Was very much in control. In fact, 52.13 it's been adjusted to for Henrich, and Lavia Nielsen 52.72 to Patterson, who was so close behind in third place, 52.79 for Grenada. Nice little, as we use the phrase, a pipe opener. Just blows out the pipes, doesn't it, that one, Hannah?
Yeah, so that's Tamara Patterson. In fact, it was the heat. Yeah,
the heat. Yeah.
So that's how she qualified for the semis.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so Tamara Patterson there, and then let's Linda Victor. What can we say about that?
Here they are. Flags all being walked out. The presentation team will lead the three medalists.
The medal ceremony for the men's decathlon. Glasgow, please welcome the medalists.
Brilliant bronze for Tejaswin Shankar of India, an athlete that felt an affinity with the decathlon, didn't really have the setup after competing in America as a collegiate athlete. Over high jump, really committing in the last couple of years to have a go at decathlon. He's done supremely well. Meteoric rise really for Tejaswin Shankar. Two much more experienced athletes that he shares a podium with, Damien Warner and Lyndon Victor, have got so many other decathlons under their belts. But Shankar ended up with an overall score of 7,976 points. Yeah, and just 70 points behind Damien Warner, which is pretty impressive for a man of Warner's accolades. So big smiles for Tejaswin Shankar of India. Damien Warner up next for Canada. He won this title back in 2014. After that, he went on to win the Olympics in 2021, World Indoors in 2022 back in Belgrade. Today, it's just a silver. Perhaps largely due to that 4 meters and 40 in the pole vault. Lovely moment for Lyndon Victor. 3 consecutive Commonwealth Games titles over one of the toughest events in our sport. Daley Thompson won 3 titles in a row, and Lyndon Victor said last night at the end of his first day he was desperate to match that achievement of Daley Thompson, and he's done it in style. In the end, winning by 60 points ahead of Victor. Warner's score was 8,036 points. Lyndon Victor's 8,096. It's gold for Grenada. Oh, Lyndon Victor looks absolutely made up here on the podium. Damien Warner, perhaps a bit subdued. We haven't seen many athletes successfully do this triple. Toby Amasan failed, and Tommy Walsh failed as well. That was in the women's 100-metre hurdles and the men's shot put. But Lyndon Victor getting it done. He's our first triple winner, isn't it? We've got Wycliffe Kindymal trying to do it in the men's 800 tomorrow. And Nina Kennedy was only going for 2 in a row, wasn't she? Even for defending champions, it's been a pretty rough week this week.
Yes. What else can we say?
No, there's not much we can say. I mean, 3 in a row. You put the work in. And he was injured. He was in pain. He was hurting. And unfortunate, pole vault from Damien Warner. Certainly, that was the the blessing we needed, because of course if the bar didn't touch that, of course Lyndon probably would have been in second. So certainly that was the situation. But I think after that it really put him in the place to say yes, I can really do it. And he really pushed for it. But even in pain, he was going for it. He was. So that shows the determination that we talked about. In spite of what, you don't give up, you don't quit. Especially when it's right there. So I am extremely proud of this man and what he is doing for Grenada. Yeah.
I was a bit concerned, especially during the pole vault.
The pole vault, yeah.
When you saw that he was, yes. And in fact, I recall the commentators were questioning the coach's decision of having to continue, right?
Yeah.
And say, hey, he has got enough points already. His biggest rival is Damien Warner, who stopped at what, 450 or something like that?
Yeah, 4 something.
Right?
Yeah.
450. He was at 4, whatever it is. Hey, give him the rest. And I think that's when he decided, after the pole vault, he went straight to the next event? There was an event where from one he went to the other. He might have been probably the jump or whatever it is. And he went to sit ready for his next event, the discus. Whereas they normally will have to go into they have to go back into the room, the call room.
The call room, yeah.
Yeah. But he decided to go and sit and wait for his next event.
Yeah.
They decided after that he will go, but they will have someone there with him. Escorted. I think it was tactical on his part. He didn't want to go in there.
Mentally, he needs to be mentally. After that, he mentally needs to play his mind. I can
and get himself ready for that next event.
And that's what it was. It was a mental thing, saying yes, I can do it. So I need to, compose myself and put my mind to it and set my mind together. And I think that's what it was. Just be by myself and think and clear my head, right? So
yeah. And then for us, there were some dubious decisions. I will continue to say that. I mean, we saw where in one instance a previous jumper was given the bly, as we will say, and then here was all of a sudden a computer error for Lyndon. But that's water under the bridge now.
He still got a record and the discus, but that was an amazing throw. And it's like, are you serious? Are you for real? You don't make mistakes like that. It happened. There's no mistake you make, but it's what it is, So yeah.
And then the other thing is that the computer gave an error for him and not for others. But hey, let's celebrate what it is now. He is the champion.
3 times consecutive.
3 times, right?
3 times.
Yeah. And thank you very much, Sir Lyndon Victor.
No, definitely.
Good afternoon to you, Hazel. Hazel says.
Hey, Hazel, how are you?
So, and then we have the situation where some of the athletes now from the CSC, because CSC wraps up, for some of them would have finished already, some today, some tomorrow. and some are flying to the Dominican Republic. I mean, that's from the Commonwealth, sorry.
For the Commonwealth,
to the Dominican Republic now.
For the CSC.
For instance,
yeah.
Anderson, by the way, Anderson was finished 4th in the javelin. You know, he didn't make the cut for the medal round. So too did Walcott.
Walcott, yeah. He didn't make it either, yeah.
Yeah, the Sri Lankan Ramesh is you know, he is
he's
unstoppable for that.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Yeah. Even
Chopra, the Indian, couldn't.
The Indian, they couldn't, yeah.
But hopefully, while Anderson was looking at least to get him to the medal round for the Commonwealth Games, he will have an opportunity because he's also on the CSC team, so he will during the week to compete. Now that's the difference, as we say. Now Anderson can move from that event to the next event. Someone like Lyndon can't.
Canada.
Lyndon has to rest probably for another 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah, longer than that too. And then it's 3-4 weeks.
When you have those sort of, so that's the difference that people don't understand. You know, 10 events in 2 days, you're talking about the preparation and all these things. And by the way, you can prepare probably 10 months in advance for that 2 days. And it takes just something, just one incident within that period that could end your campaign. Remember that?
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about Damien Warner. I mean, he was on track to win it, and one incident, one little thing that he cleared the bar, he cleared it over, and then the pole just come right back and just knock it over, and that was that, and he couldn't clear it again. So you just take one thing to change everything, and then if you miss one event, you're done.
Yeah, but then going into the final event is always the tactical one. Lyndon knows that, hey, I just need to finish within
the race. And in a certain place. And in a certain position. Yeah.
Yes. And especially, you will look at the points. So Damien Warner is my nearest rival, right? I am X amount of points ahead of him. I just need to finish as close as possible with him within a certain time, and I'm sure.
And you show you have to win. You don't have to win. Most. It's funny because most champions in almost every heptathlete or decathlete never win the 1500 or the last event. Never do. Never do. Yeah, they absolutely never do. Yeah.
In fact, most times you find the 15 is your weakest event.
It's the weakest event.
Look at both Damien and Lyndon, two of the top decathletes.
Yeah.
And they never win the 1500 meters.
Never win the 15. Never do. Yeah.
They never win the 1500 meters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you'll find some of the guys who can probably do the hurdles and do the 15 and things like that. And Lyndon,
and you just have to listen. 10 event, you probably have to win or get max point in maybe 4 of them, and then stay right there. So
as it is now, Lyndon he has his strength in the discus, the shot put, and the javelin. So the throwing events, he has improved. Well, he has improved a lot in the pole vault, In
the pole vault, yes. Yeah. So we talk about the poles. Yeah. The poles. So I think he probably did get a bigger pole now to improve on that area.
Remember the last time we had him on the program, he spoke up about the poles.
Spoke about the poles, yeah.
So, and we even wanted to find out, I think that to an extent was probably his weakest event in terms of, I mean, not obviously the 15 is.
15 is the 15, yeah.
But he has improved tremendously in the pole vault, and he's not bad in the 400. I always say if Grenada is short of a man in the 4x4, give Lyndon
give him a chance.
Give him a chance to run a leg.
You get a 45 from him, 44.
And then he's around the 10.5, in the 100.
Yeah.
Which is bobbling around. If he can get down to the 10.3, 10.2, he will be doing wonderful,
But it's tough, Michael, because I mean, you are not training for just one event. You are training for 10 events, and in one day you probably might need to do 3. I mean, I watched one of the Canadian guy train, and in the day you do long jump, then you do shot put training, and then I see you doing high jump training, then pole vault, all in the span of the 2 hours. I'm at York University. He's touching some of all, and it's like, man, that is a lot. Like, switching from one to the next. It's not easy. It's not easy.
I'm saying that we need to give Lyndon his flowers.
Yeah.
Right? Because as you put it there, when we put that into context, to compete in 10 events over 2 days, and you're talking about quality events, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Taking all of you. You're giving all of you. You literally giving all of you. There's no holding back. You're giving everything.
Listen, this is not ping pong or rolling whatever, hopscotch or whatever it is, man. When you think about and when you look at the competitors, you have quality competitors as well, huh?
Yes.
You have runners guys doing 10-2. To me, that's competitive. 10-2, 10-3, right? You have guys who run 47, 46, sometime in the 400.
46.
Right?
Yeah.
Quality time, right? You have guys who, yes, they're not 6 in the pole vault, but you have them going, almost 5 meters in the pole vault, right?
The pole vault,
The long jump again, so yes.
Yeah.
They
find the strength. Find the strength. Yeah.
And the discus again, the guys are around there. I mean, Lyndon is going 50 something. Lyndon could go.
But it's funny, Michael. I mean, Damian Warner, as much as he's doing the decathlon, he's the Canadian long jump record holder.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the Canadian long jump record holder, which is for an athlete who have to focus on 10 events. He's the Canadian record holder in the long jump, in just single and in the single event. So certainly, you find your strength, and you put the work in there, and that's what it is, to get max points from your strongest event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have those who will be heading off to the Dominican Republic now to compete, and again, I would have hoped that it was such that you didn't have a race against time, and the athletes themselves, or the interest, because by the way, the Commonwealth Games would have taken away a lot of the interest in the CSC. One is because the CSC is not covered as much as how the Commonwealth is covered. And then 2, the commentary is in Spanish, only Spanish.
It's in Spanish,
Yeah. We do not have the English coverage. And I believe that is something that they need to work on, especially for the CSC, even if there wasn't a clash.
And then you look at quality too at the same time. Commonwealth Games is the third. Yeah.
Even if there wasn't a clash in terms of the events and things like that at the time, the period, right? If they can get the commentary in the different languages of the participants.
Different languages, yeah.
That to me will have a lot of interest, because folks, even though, for example, the swimming and all these other events were available on YouTube and things like that, there wasn't that interest among, especially Caribbean folks, for that. And for the Commonwealth, it was easy because most of the commentary came in English. Whether it's from the UK or whether it's from the Caribbean, wherever it is in English, and that's something we have to work on. So, but then we'll find a lot of the folks moving from, and here the interesting thing about it, a lot of the officials, and I'm talking about the administrators, like the president and general secretary of the Commonwealth Association, but the Olympic Association. They are moving from, in some cases, they are moving from Glasgow to Dominican Republic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are moving there. One interesting thing, Rudy, and I didn't see, I don't know if I missed it, but I looked at most of the medal ceremonies and I have not seen one Grenadian official. For example, when Tia Lafont had her medal presentation, the official from Dominica was among the presenters for the medal. He didn't actually, he was part of the medal presentation.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
I know him, Mr. Brendan
Williams.
Yeah.
Brendan Williams,
So he was there as part of the medal part.
Yeah.
The only reason he did not make the presentation to her is because the other member of the party was the prime minister. No, was a minister, the minister of sport. So the protocol is that if the minister or prime minister or whatever is part of the delegation of the presentation party, they get the opportunity to present. Yeah. So in fact, that was explained to me by Brandon himself, because I reached out to him and I say, hey, why didn't you give the gold medal to your athlete? And he explained, well, once a minister is there,
they get the opportunity. Yeah.
Right. But interesting enough, I saw the president of the BVI. He was the only, but the thing about it, he was the only person to make the presentation. So he was able to make the presentation to Hodge.
Of the BVI.
Right? Yeah. And again, Mr. Ephraim Penn, who was also a guest on our program some weeks ago, right? He was the one there. He's the president of the BVI Olympic Committee and also the president of ANOSIS, which is the Association of National Olympic Committees. Right. Yeah. So he made the presentation. But I'm seeing officials from Dominica. I'm seeing officials from the BVI. I'm seeing officials from Jamaica, for example, Mr. Mike Fennell. Again, a pass. I like to make mention of them when they pass through our talk show sports. He was he made the presentation actually to he was there to make the presentation to he was part of the party for Lyndon Victor, right? So I'm seeing this from Guyana. I saw Mr. Steve Nenval from Guyana as well. I'm not seeing anyone from Grenada. What's happening, folks? Where are our Grenadian? Not even the chef de mission, for example.
Yeah.
I'm seeing chef de mission from various Caribbean countries being there to make presentations in some instances to their competitors. But I'm not seeing anyone from Grenada. Yeah. So that's just an observation, not a criticism. It's just an observation. Rudieon, so it is our final program for recess. We will take a break. You have your Caribana, as Gordon was saying.
They're having a good time right now.
Yeah, and then we have Spice Mass for the next 2 weeks. And
next 2 weeks, yeah.
I am on vacation with the family, effective from as soon as I sign off on that program.
It's official.
I'm officially on vacation. Right? Yeah, I'm officially on vacation until the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Hear from me if there is some breaking story.
Something breaking news. Yeah.
But as it is now, I'm officially on vacation, as we say, right?
Unless the FIFA president resign or they vote him out.
That's another hot potato, guy. Another hot potato that we have to be thinking with there. Hazel is on your case, Rudieon. I can't answer that. You'll answer Hazel yourself. I don't want to get into trouble. She wants to really not going anywhere. Yeah, he says he says too much things going on in Caribana. I know a lot of folks that head into Caribana.
Yeah, a lot of people is there, and I'm good. I'm good. I'm just gonna relax.
Oh, is it today? Is the on the
It's
street?
on right now. They're actually on the street right now. Yeah, it's on the street right now. I might do a little barbecue or something later. You know, there's always something.
Okay, right.
Because it's a long weekend, so there's always something happening. So definitely, I'm going to tap into something.
Monday is a holiday.
Monday's a holiday. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Monday is the official
Monday's a holiday.
For Emancipation.
Emancipation, yeah.
Oh,
well, we call it something else. They call it something else here. Yeah, it's a different name. Yeah, it's a different name, but it's always the Monday. Yeah.
I've been monitoring. There are a lot of activities going on. There was they call it the African Emancipation Day Parade in Trinidad, for example. They had that going on in Arima, in Port of Spain, and places. I don't know what's taking place in Grenada. But you know, this is the weekend what we used to call Rainbow City Weekend.
Rainbow City Weekend. That's what it is. Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, Rainbow City Weekend. That's what we know it as. Yeah, growing up. So
Rainbow City Weekend.
Rainbow City
what is
Weekend.
happening in Grenada, folks?
It's a fete. There's a fete somewhere in some hall, in some cocoa something. There's a fete somewhere.
But we used to look forward to the Rainbow City.
Rainbow City, of course.
Rainbow City Festival. Now you go up there and there are arts and craft, there are
everything.
There, lots of food, and I mean,
fun time.
It started changing to this, and then it became almost like a blockorama, and until it just phased out. You know,
just fades away. Slowly.
It lost the true significance
of what it is.
The Rainbow City Festival was something that it
you
was
look forward to it.
It was a precursor to the carnival. And folks really look forward to it. You know, I don't know. You know, you go and you park for miles and you have to walk.
Oh yeah, you have to walk. Lots of walking. Jeez. Yeah. You want to take the bus and the bus drop you off. You have to walk. But I don't know what's happening with it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Rudieon.
Yes, that was a pleasure.
She's actually teasing you. We know it's a tease.
I know.
Rudieon is staying home. As he says, probably a little barbecue or so. Thank you very much, John. He said safe travels. By the way, today is actually my mom's birthday. I have to reach out to her.
Oh, okay.
It's my mom's birthday, and she's actually spending her birthday in Grenada, so she is there. Having her a good time. Happy birthday to my mom, Yvette Mason. If you see Yvette Mason on social media, just say happy birthday to her. You will find her. She's an old woman who likes social media, so you'll find her. She's one of them who you will find on social media. So just type in Yvette Mason and say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It is her birthday today, August 1st. Certainly I will tell her happy birthday, Lisa. But folks, we still have the competition in track and field, and the CAC actually starts tomorrow with the marathon and race walk, and then later for the next week we have a lot of in fact Kirani James will be competing in the Tuesday and Wednesday. We have folks competing in various events. We have Shaquin Toussaint. He's traveled he's moving from Glasgow to join the folks there as well. So he will also be competing there. Gordon says crop over in Barbados Monday. Yes. And also, he says his 21st birthday. I'll just say happy birthday to you, Gordon. It's not your 21st, but happy birthday to you. Don't try that one. Happy birthday to you, Gordon.
Happy birthday, my man.
Yeah, and yes, crop over.
Crop over weekend. It's always the week before Caribana weekend. It's always Caribana weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
And therefore we'll find folks either at the Caribana or the crop over, and after that they'll move to Grenada for Spice Mass?
Well, people come here, and by Sunday tomorrow they fly out. So they do the Caribbean, fly out to Barbados tomorrow, and then from Barbados, Grenada. I have a friend who does that every year. Yeah, Toronto to Barbados to Grenada. Yeah,
they do the hop in, right? Yeah,
yeah.
Go to Caribbean, fly out from Caribbean to crop over, and from crop over
to Grenada. Yeah,
to Grenada. Yeah. But you know, crop over is having its time now. When it was Rainbow City Festival, it used to be Rainbow City Festival. No one with the muscle. It used to be lots of, because at that time we had the tents, we had National, we had all these bands and things.
Yeah.
And you go up to Rainbow City Festival, and you have these activities. You know, you have the dancers from Birch Grove. You have the shortneys, you have the maple dancing. I'm just trying to remember all that I used to witness at Rainbow City Festival. One thing I know is that getting to Grenville at a certain time and trying to get to Grenville, if you don't get in, then you have to park somewhere, find somewhere, you have to drive around somewhere, find a park and walk. You have to do a lot of walking.
A lot of walking. Yeah.
Because if you don't get there in time before they close off the streets, right? So if you get there and you happen to park somewhere before
you're good. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So probably close to the cinema, you know, these sort of areas, the back street.
Yeah, the back streets. Yeah.
So then when things finish, you may be able to drive out.
Yeah. You
don't have to do that walking. Mind you, you may not be able to leave when you want to.
That's true.
Yeah. But the good thing is that you do not have to do all that walking.
Yeah.
Yes. Right? But gone are those days. We don't have anything. As you say, it might just be a fit here and there. You know,
nothing like that. Yeah. Somebody's doing something is happening over the weekend. Yeah.
So Rudieon, thank you very much, and we take
pleasure. We're going to take a rest. We're going to speak in between, but certainly.
And thank you to all the folks like John and Gordon and Sam, Hazel, Goti. Good afternoon to you, and all those who always week in week out they be part of our program. And in case those who take in the recap as well, who look at the replay, good afternoon to you, and we will be with you in about 2 weeks. Yes, Roti. Semifinals, Calypso semifinal used to be at Simone, right? Yeah. Well, it took place at. I think
it is still.
Well, it went already, but I think did it? I'm not sure.
It went already. Yeah, it went already. I think it went already.
I'm not following
because it's next week. I don't. I'm not too sure. I know of the Groovy and the Stoker Monarch. Well, no, I think I did see it went already because the list for the final for the Calypso is out, so it did went already. Yeah.
But I think he's making the point that where it used to be, right?
It used to be, yeah.
So in terms of the schedule, I know things like the Kiddies Carnival and all of that would have gone already.
Would have been gone, right? Yeah.
There is traditional mass festival in Victoria St. Mark on Sunday, August 2nd at 3 p.m. So there is an activity
happening.
Yeah. A traditional mass festival that is listed on the 2nd, which is Sunday, tomorrow. Right? 3 o'clock in Victoria St. Mark, right? Then there is Majestic Thursday, which is the Queen Show, right?
Queen Show, yeah.
Soca Monarch.
And
Friday. Senior Panorama, because the Junior Panorama went already. Senior Panorama is on Saturday.
And then
Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
That's Carnival Monday, Carnival Tuesday.
Carnival Monday, Carnival Tuesday.
By the way, there are other activities, but that is...
Oh, yeah. That's the official Spice Mass schedule,
Yeah, official activities.
Yeah.
So, that's what, in terms of that. Folks, so, you Choose your battle.
Enjoy.
And enjoy, yes.
And be
Choose your
safe.
battle and enjoy. Yes, importantly, be safe.
Be safe. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rudieon.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Pleasure too. Okay. So that's Rudieon Sylvan, my co-host in Toronto. He's not going to any of the activities. He says he might just go out to probably a backyard barbecue. You know, I've heard a lot of reports about, you know, lots of, but I wouldn't want to say violence, but, you know, mischievous activities taking place. Some of the activities, and folks, whatever, wherever, whether it's Caribana, whether it's crop over, whether it's Grenada, just be safe, right? Just be safe. Let's try to have clean fun. We had for the past few years, you know, Grenadians have been ensuring that the Spice Mass itself, one that people look forward to, unlike other major festivals with all this sort of violence and things. People are talking about Spice Mass in terms of the incident-free. Hats off to the Royal Grenada Police Force, and they continue to ensure that we have a safe carnival, and I'm certain that the important link in that is the folks, that's the people who are participating in the various activities, can ensure that we have a safe festival. You are the ones that can ensure that, right? The lawmen and women are just there to ensure, right? To safeguard, to provide some level of confidence in terms of security, but you are the ones who can ensure that, right? You can make their work very easy. You can make their work easy. In fact, the lawmen at the last carnival, after the last carnival, they heap praises on the public because, as they say, because folks ensure that we had a safe carnival, there was much for the lawmen to do. And we want to ensure that that is our selling point for our summer festival. People are investing lots of money, whether it's to travel and then accommodation and all these other things. Please, it brings a lot of revenue to the country. And if you want that to continue, you have to ensure that it remains a safe festival, one that people can look forward to. Thank you very much, folks. All the best. Looking forward to your company when we do resume in about 2 weeks' time. Until then, do have yourself a pleasant